This right here is 60 pounds of charcoal, and in here, I've got many gallons of liquid oxygen. Callie, is this safe?
Yeah, burn it,
right.
go! Woo! This is liquid oxygen. It's something we've made here in the studio before, with liquid nitrogen and an oxygen tank. But today, we're going to need a much larger quantity.
This is a 10 by 10 tiny house we built. We added carpet to the floor, which we're going to soak in liquid oxygen and then light it off to see what happens.
We've heard the stories of what happens if you accidentally spill liquid oxygen on carpet in the lab, and we've done small-scale tests with it before. But today, we want to try something a lot bigger.
Now, we will go blow stuff up in just a sec, so hang tight, but we want to talk to you about today's sponsorship first, which is BetterHelp.
We've all gone through hard times, especially recently, and there's a resource out there to help you understand your mental health. BetterHelp is an amazing counseling service for exactly that, and we want to thank them for sponsoring today's video.
See, BetterHelp will assess your specific needs, and then they match you with your own licensed professional therapist who can assist you with your personal issue. And you can start communicating within 48 hours.
Keep in mind, this is not a crisis line, nor is this a self-help. BetterHelp is a professional counseling done securely online, and there's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 15,000 plus counselor network.
You can log into your account anytime and instantly send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions.
Also, BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change a counselor if you need it.
And one of the best parts is that it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available if needed.
Go check out BetterHelp using our link at betterhelp.com/TKOR. That's better HELP, and join the 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. By using our link, you'll receive 10% off your first month.
Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. That's better HELP. Go use our link to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TKOR. Now, we have done some cool experiments with liquid oxygen before, using steel wool, styrofoam, and melted candles.
Our absolute favorite, though, was lighting a piece of carpet soaked in liquid oxygen, because this went up so fast and burned so quickly, it was like nothing we'd ever seen before, and we've always wanted to scale it up.
We originally came up with this idea after talking with our friend Alexander. He used liquid oxygen in a laboratory, and they were always warned that if it were to spill on carpet, it was particularly dangerous because carpet is made from petroleum product and has a very high energy density. And then walking across the carpet could also potentially create a static shock, and that could light off carpet that's been soaked in liquid oxygen, leading to a pretty disastrous result.
Now, we don't actually want to put ourselves in any danger by walking across liquid oxygen-soaked carpet, but we do want to test the static shock theory.
We're going to take a 3-inch carpet square, and using a static electricity generator, we're going to try and create a spark within the fibers of the carpet after it's been soaked in liquid oxygen. Now, we are not the first people to do experiments with liquid oxygen. Back in the mid-90s, an engineer from Purdue University named George Goebel did an experiment to see how fast he could light a charcoal barbecue. He took 60 pounds of charcoal briquettes and poured 3 gallons of liquid oxygen over them with a small ember smoldering at the top. The result was that about 5 to 10 seconds later, he had 20 pounds of nicely burning charcoal. George Goebel's original experiment was really cool, but unfortunately, due to some limitations of the technology of the day, the footage of it that exists is pretty low resolution. We want to make sure that this experiment has the high resolution that it deserves.
So we're going to be taking all of these briquettes, soaking them in liquid oxygen and lighting them, and that's going to be awesome. But what happens when you take just a single match and cover it in liquid oxygen? Let's start with that.
So, it's a bit windy out here right now, and we're concerned about it. We were just going to do everything right here, which is why we're pouring charcoal right here. But we're thinking we're now going to move to inside the dome where we have better control over the elements, and we're going to be able to pour everything much safer.
Just one match. One match. Ready?
Yeah. All right, so we got a good flare going. That's from all of the heads of the matches, but now we've just got some gently burning wood. Barely going at all.
All right, I am curious. Let's actually just try one, because now I want to know. Fire. One match.
It's like a sparkler.
I think it
That
spread
was
to some.
only one.
No, there's debris on the
I know
ground.
there's debris, but that was one match, and now that stick is on fire.
Now everything's on fire.
One precaution we are taking to try and make this a little bit safer is in the original experiment, the bucket was on a 2x4 and Mr. Goebel was pouring it, just holding the 2x4. I want it to be a little farther away from everything. So I have a bucket on a 2x4, but then I have this whole device that I'm going to be attaching it to. It can rotate, it can slide, and it will be on a hinge. So from 10 feet away, I should be able to maneuver the bucket to pour it on without being so close that I have to worry about the heat causing problems.
Is that gonna catch on fire?
Yeah, maybe. We are ready to do the actual test. Can you ignite carpet soaked in liquid oxygen with a spark?
All right, here we
I am
go.
ready on my box.
That's just
Make
so
sure
much.
we get a lot over on this side here. 'Cause that's, yep,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, that's coated.
All right, so I'm gonna have mine right there at the edge.
Okay,
Grab
ready?
this.
Give
Start
us some
turning.
good voltage. Ooh, I
I got
felt that.
zapped.
Zapped.
Yep.
Zapping.
Zapping. Another one.
Zapping. I'm gonna move it a tiny bit away for a bigger zap.
Ow!
Pretty good zap.
It's not going, guys.
Let's go a little more in the middle. Zapping. Zap.
Zap, that was a big one.
I'm gonna back up a little for a bigger one. Keep going, Cal. Oh, that was a
I see that. Okay, I think we've tested.
that was a lot of sparks.
Not a lot of sparks, but
Well, I think it was sparks that we just couldn't see. Callie's got a plan.
I've got a plan. Ready?
Ready?
Woo! So it did work, obviously.
With the sparkler.
Yes.
So this just proves that number one, our carpet worked, there was liquid oxygen, just we could not get a static spark to make it go.
The two poles that Grace and I were holding, we were both getting zapped
Yeah.
pretty good. You were able to see some of the sparks.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And it's daylight, so.
That wasn't the problem. The problem is that the sparks we were creating were not enough to light it off. I'm not going to say that that means you can't light it off with a static spark. I'm just saying our result is that it's not guaranteed any spark will light it.
So the match in the liquid oxygen was absolutely fantastic, but we want to try and make sure that what we're going to be doing with the briquettes is going to be as safe as possible. So what we're going to test out first is a few different types of accelerants with our charcoal briquettes and see how they burn.
So the first thing we're going to test is how a briquette burns just by itself. Combustion, also known as burning, is a chemical reaction and process that is a combination of fuel and oxygen. What gets it all started is a little bit of heat. With just a lighter, it takes a minute to get going, so that's why we're going to use these accelerants.
The charcoal briquette does act as fuel in this situation, but it's a fuel that is kind of hard to get that chemical reaction going, like Grace said. So we use a fuel that's easier to start a reaction with in the form of lighter fluid. Now, without holding the torch on it, the lighter fluid acts as a source of heat until the charcoal itself really starts to burn.
So gasoline works about the same way that a lighter fluid does, but it reacts a lot more energetically and it's going to burn a lot faster than anything that we've used before. Guys, please don't try this at home. Please don't use gasoline to light your barbecue. You don't want your food tasting like gasoline, and it could be really dangerous. The fumes themselves can actually build up and cause an explosion. There we go. Much faster.
Now, is a briquette started with gasoline going to get started faster or slower than normal lighter fluid? That's not the test we're doing today. Today we're going to see what happens if instead of adding more fuel, we add more oxygen. In a past experiment, we did test what would happen if you used gaseous oxygen to start a bunch of charcoal briquettes, and it worked really well, but I think the liquid version is going to go even better.
Look at it!
Oh my gosh.
Look at that beautifully burning charcoal briquette and all that beautifully burning debris that was sitting somewhere near the charcoal
wasn't
briquette.
even
Oh my
on
gosh.
fire.
It's still sparking.
It was just warm. Like I could have held that.
I just love that it's still sparking. Like there's still so
Right,
much
if you,
oxygen in
like-
the ground. There you go. All right, it's time to go big or go home.
They say spilling liquid oxygen on your clothing is incredibly dangerous, and we want to show you just how dangerous it is using one of our new TKOR designs. Look how great it is!
Whoa!
Hang it over the sides. It's going to evaporate very quickly.
Whoa! Yes!
Don't worry. If you buy the shirts, they will not come covered in liquid oxygen.
Guys, we did a really small scale test. Now we want to size it up a little bit. We want to see how fast the fire actually travels through the carpet, and also we want to see it out of an enclosed space. We've never actually done it out in the open with this much carpet before.
This is gonna be wild.
I'm excited to see how fast it goes. I think it's going to be very quick.
I think it's gonna be faster than we're expecting. You ready to start pouring?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1.
That was slower than I thought, but really cool.
You could feel the heat back here.
Yeah.
It was 3 seconds. That was legit. Actually, I think it was a little under. I freaked out a little bit and forgot to push it because I was so mesmerized. But that was like 3 seconds and it was insane.
All right, so Chuck, what other type of explosive or incendiary did that most remind you of?
It most really reminded me of black powder, a thick black powder, very fine black powder in a line.
All right, so if you had that type of black powder filling the bottom of a shed like this, how do you think that would go?
Well, that is the question, because I don't know,
All right.
especially being contained.
The liquid oxygen seems to be working great. We've got everything set up. Time to recreate George Gobel's mid-90s experiments. I guess I don't have a plan if this thing snaps and falls on the ground. We all run. All right. Ready? I loved that.
That was fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's so warm. So like just right here, this is uncomfortably warm. I don't like it.
So a couple thoughts.
Okay.
The story along with the original, and from what it looked like in the video, I believe George Gobel had much less left when he was finished. I believe there's a couple reasons for that. One, his charcoal grill was probably a lot cheaper. Two, his less safe pouring method of being up close let him be more accurate and keep all of the fuel poured onto the charcoal itself. I might have splashed a little bit to the side in my effort to not be super close to it, but I have no regrets because I was feeling the heat of that from the other side of my pouring device.
I felt it from standing farther from Nate, and I felt the heat.
With the type of charcoal we're using, we did not reduce it to 20 pounds of nicely burning charcoal, but we got a lot of heat out of it, and frankly, I think we'd be about ready to start throwing some food on it.
Seriously, this is amazing.
Guys, burning that strip of carpet was absolutely amazing, but now we want to see it in an enclosed space.
We're not sure if enclosing it is going to suppress the reaction or make it so that it's under pressure and more explosive. So to test it out, we've got this doghouse. We threw carpet on the inside of it, and now we're going to pour a bunch of liquid oxygen on it. That is so much.
All right, ready? Let's blow up the doghouse!
Yes!
I just want to say, it did not just open the lid, it tore the lid off. The lid the ceiling of it just came off entirely. It tore through the hinge connections, and yeah, it's burning very, very hot.
Holy cow! I have so much more hope for the shed now that I've seen this, because I was really worried that we weren't gonna have as big of an effect as we wanted. I'm not worried about that anymore.
And in the half second it took to blow that lid off, look how much of the ceiling still scorched. Like that giant black mark is what it
I feel like
put
the
on there in
heat
a second.
radiating like
It's still very warm, yeah.
so warm.
The Doghouse was incredible. It was a more exciting reaction than I was even hoping for, so now I cannot wait to scale it up to our tiny house here. Because the risk of walking on carpet with liquid oxygen on it is that it could explode on you, we don't want to ever be on the carpet while pouring the liquid oxygen. So we're gonna have two methods to distribute it. One is we're gonna throw a little bit in the open doors from outside the shed. Two, we're going to fill a metal bucket up on top of the shed. There's a hole in the ceiling that drops down into a distributing device, and I can pull this cord and just dip all of that liquid oxygen down in through the hole into the inside bucket.
The fun thing about this carpet is that it's called Explosion 2 and the color is called Firework. It's perfect.
Are we good, Chuck?
This is it, baby. 2 months of preparation.
Everybody good? All right, we're good.
Fire in the hole. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
Yes! 2, 1.
Yeah!
Dude, this was amazing.
So good.
Wow. It was the fastest and most beautiful reaction ever.
We wanted to test how dangerous liquid oxygen was on carpet. I think we did a pretty good job of that.
Guys, don't play with liquid oxygen.
Thanks so much for having us. If you come up with any cool things you want to see us do, let us know.
In the comments below.
Hey guys, if you want to see our secret fuel explosion, make sure to head over to our second channel, TKOR. We are out here playing with liquid oxygen, but it should give a very similar result to if we froze gasoline in liquid oxygen. All right, everyone ready?
Guys, we want to continue making huge experiments like this, but we cannot do it without your support. YouTube has changed over the years, and what used to work for our channel doesn't seem to be a viable option anymore. We want to make the biggest and best videos we've ever created. While we're very excited about it, it's kind of risky from a business standpoint, so we're asking for your help to keep this up.
We have created a Patreon page that will let our viewers support us directly. Changes are happening around the channel, and we are so thankful for your constant support over the years. We have lots of amazing rewards planned. We'll have exclusive content for you, and you'll get early access to all our videos. All of the details about the plans should be available soon.
This liquid oxygen video is just the tip of the iceberg for the projects we want to accomplish, and we really could not do that without you all.
We thank you so much for the years of support that you've given us, and we really hope that you'll stick around and help us create the very best content we have ever made on this channel, and to see what we grow into.
If anybody wants to know what my favorite smell of candle would be, it would be the scent of burning matches. I don't think it exists, but I want it. The smell of books and burning matches, not burning books. The smell of books and burning matches.
Hoo hoo hoo. Stomp it.
It doesn't like to stomp.
How's that going for you?
Real good. I did it.
Okay, proud of you.
I feel very comfortable.
All right, I think that's gonna do for this little test.
Get it due for the little test because it's in a doer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go toss it.
This is the shed's last few moments.
All right, I would get.
Callie's moving the TKOR truck. Nate, are you gonna stay up there for the explosion?
Yeah, that's the best place. You gotta have a good view.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Ah.